Good evening. The hour of 6 o'clock is upon us, so I call to order this April 6th council workshop meeting, and we are going to rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And for the first motion tonight, I would entertain a motion from someone to allow Councillor Mellon to attend virtually.
I'll make that motion.
And second. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
She is there. I'm just having a little bit.
Got it. The motion has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any citizens to be heard online? Because it does not look like we have any here. Okay. So we have our meeting minutes. So I will make the motion that Borough Council approve the March 2nd, 2022 workshop meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Yes, let's give Kate the moment to, to answer. Motion passes. I do not believe we have a mayor's report tonight, correct? I do not have a report. So we will continue to committees, Budget and Finance Committee.
There's one item under the Budget and Finance Committee tonight. I move that Borough Council authorize the execution of a vendor agreement between Carlisle Borough and the Department of Human Services, allowing the Carlisle Borough to become a participating vendor in the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program, pending solicitor review.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Great. Motion has been properly seconded. We'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes.
And that concludes the Budget and Finance Committee report.
Great. All right. Moving along, we will go to Sustainable Community and Economic Planning Committee.
Thank you, Ms. Deputy Mayor. I have one item this evening. I move that Borough Council approve the submission of a certified local government grant application for $25,000 to fund an identification level survey of architectural and historic resources in downtown Carlisle.
We have a motion, and I will second that motion. Any other discussion? Sorry, I guess I should have been asking that too. Just tell me if I'm doing it wrong. By the way, just any other discussion? All right, I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along to Public Works Committee.
So I have two items. I make a motion for the borough to approve a unit price construction contract with Stewart and Tate Incorporated of York, Pennsylvania for the 2022 street maintenance program in the amount of $3.15 per square yard of applied surface under the CapCog 2022 microsurfacing application contract.
We have a motion for the CapCog 2022 microsurfacing application. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion on this? Okay. We'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then for my second, I make a motion for the council to approve a unit price construction contract with Asphalt Maintenance Solutions, LLC of Amos, Pennsylvania for the 2022 street maintenance program in the amount of $7.95 per square yard of applied surface under the CapCog 2022 ultra thin bonded wearing course application contract.
We have a motion for the CapCog 2022 ultra thin bonded wearing course application contract. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on this item? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. We're moving along to Public Safety Committee, which is me, right? Okay. For tonight. So I have 3 items this evening. First item, Borough Council. I make the motion that Borough Council direct the Borough Solicitor to draft and advertise an ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Carlisle with respect to Chapter 244, Vehicles and Traffic, to change the section of Fairground Avenue between A Street and B Street from one-way to a two-way roadway.
I second.
The motion has been seconded. Do we have any discussion on this one?
I believe Mark Malrich would like to give a brief
That would be
overview,
great.
please.
Thank you.
All right. So the reason this is on the agenda is historically Fairground Avenue has been a one-way street northbound, and it's actually in the borough code specifying that. As part of the Carlisle construction project, there was a total reconstruction of Fairground Avenue, and there was a shifting to the east and a widening that provides for on-street parking and also for two-way traffic between A Street and B Street. The intent was to provide additional avenues for vehicles to access the redevelopment site, since between A Street and B Street is more of the proposed commercial area. So this puts that in motion. The construction in that area has already been completed, except for the mini roundabout at the intersection of B and Fairground, which is it's being worked on as we speak right now. So by the time this ordinance goes in effect, if council approves it, then the facility will be in place.
I saw the roundabout. It's beautiful. It's coming along nicely. So, any other discussion or questions for Mark into the process? Okay. Well, then we can call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The motion passes. Our next item is I make a motion that Borough Council approve the purchase of 2 hybrid police vehicles through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Cooperative Purchasing Program, CoStars.
Second.
And the item has been properly seconded. Do we have any other information about this?
I'd like to comment.
Yes.
Just want to thank Chief Landis for the information on the background. Just for those who may not have a chance to read every word, department's doing due diligence to look at the right opportunity to convert the fleet to electric vehicles. It looks like our U.S. auto industry is getting real close, not quite there, but getting real close to having a serviceable vehicle that meets our needs. And I just request, I'd like to put my name in for the first ride when we did that. Maybe 2023, 24, we'll see, but look forward to that. Thanks for putting that in your sites. So I would also encourage, as we're moving forward, to see where it might make sense for charging stations and how we might use them near the station. So appreciate your work on that, Chief.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Actually, no. We are, in fact, looking at all options, and it's been very interesting. The different, I actually stopped at Tesla and said, "Hey, give me a car." It didn't work out well, but I actually went there, the other day and stopped and talked. But so we're still working. We're all things are on the table.
Well, I did find it informative because I had the same question when I read it. I was like, well, why don't we go all electric? And there's a reason why we can't go all electric yet. So I think that those are things that are very helpful for our public to know, that we are we aren't just like, we don't have a climate action plan just to have it. Like, we are really trying, but there's certain limitations, and I think that that's something that we're up against in general. So it's good that we are always investigating. All right. If there's no further discussion, we can call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion passes. And my final item is I make the motion that Borough Council authorize the closure of the patio of First Presbyterian Church at High and Hanover Streets, sidewalks of North and South Hanover Streets, and East and West High Street sidewalks, 1 block out from Hanover and High, and first block of West Dickinson Avenue on Wednesdays from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. beginning April 13th, 2022 through December 29th, 2022 for the Farmers Market on the Square sponsored by the DCA. Approval shall be contingent upon the receipt of a valid certificate of liability insurance form naming the Borough of Carlisle as an additional insured, and the applicant reimbursing the Borough 100% of the variable and 10% of the fixed cost associated with this event.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been properly seconded. Do we have any discussion? Okay, we'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Well, we have new business simply because I blazed through this meeting. But I'm actually going to bring back around for one thing because I did miss something I was going to ask about. But do we have any other new business from anyone? It actually was related to the grant for the certified local government. But more importantly, I was actually going to ask Jared, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to go to the HARB meeting where we had the folks from the state about demolition. So I was wondering if there was anything insightful that council might be, I don't know, interested in knowing about of that, since it does seem related. You know, we're trying to take an inventory, or we're trying to see what we have here. But is there anything?
So we had Frank Grumbine come down from the state Historic Preservation Office and do a training on demolition. He also talked about sort of the economic factors that you have to consider for a demolition project. An applicant could make the case that it's just not feasible to salvage a building if it's decayed to a point where it just doesn't make sense. The money doesn't make sense, which begs the question about how we're applying the property maintenance code to make sure that buildings aren't decaying to that point, where demolition is really the only way to deal with an unfit structure. And I had some additional meetings with Frank and some other people with SHPO about Carlisle's downtown and our historic preservation ordinance, and kind of what we're doing with the HARB and what the council's doing as far as applying standards to certain properties. And I sort of went through what we had for an inventory of historic places, what was on the state's radar as far as what was important in Carlisle. And I realized that we just didn't have up-to-date records, and there really aren't tools to evaluate properties through a 2022 lens. So I talked to the state about the certified local government grant and to see if it was, you know, a good candidate for an inventory, and they were very supportive. They set up some other meetings with me to talk to different people, and that's sort of the impetus for the grant and kind of where it came from.
That's very helpful, and I do apologize that I missed all the discussion opportunities. So anything that I maybe missed that still is is something we would like to discuss, please feel free to. I'm new at this, all right? I'm just just work with me tonight. Seriously though, is there anything else that I didn't miss and you want to talk about? No. No. All right. Any more public comment on my botched up meeting, Stephanie? No? All right, great. I'm fine. I'm getting us out early, I guess. All right, do we have anything else then before we adjourn? All right. I'll make a motion, taking a motion for the adjournment? Or do we have to take a motion for adjournment? I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.